Our raw data shows that the majority of people, given the question, "Have you ever cheated using artificial intelligence?" would respond no more often, while the question with neutral connotation, "Have you ever used artificial intelligence for school?" would respond more openly. Our research was for the response bias, question being, "Have you ever used ChatGPT for school?" And "Have you ever cheated using ChatGPT with school?" For school. We chose this question as it was highly involved in student life. The reason why the first question was unbiased was because it was a neutral phrasing, and the second one was biased because it mentioned cheating and can cause guilt or embarrassment, likely leading to dishonesty. Other questions were considered, such as "Do you smell?" and "Do you shower?" It could have worked, as smell has a negative connotation, making people feel uncomfortable. And the first one was asking for a fact, not an opinion. The reason why we did not use it was because it was considered rude to our fellow students.
For our sampling method, we had decided to use stratified random sampling in order to get data from all grade levels. This method was much more preferred than other methods like clustered sampling, because in clustered sampling, it is very likely that we only get data from one grade level. In addition, stratified sampling is also better than simple random sampling, because while you are less likely to miss more grade levels, there's still a chance that some grade levels wouldn't be represented in our survey. As for our groups, our control group answered the unbiased survey where we asked them if the student has used AI in school, and our treatment group answers the biased survey where we ask if they have cheated using AI, and we also included that the information might be reported to the AUSD Board of Education.
How we sampled the data. Because it would be difficult for us to survey and get a true representation about the distribution of our school, we decided to use the stratified random sampling on our raw data. From two groups, we broke individuals up based on their grade levels. Then we assigned each individual for their grade level a number, and used a random number generator to select 8 individuals per grade level. This yields 32 random selected individuals per group, with a total of 64 sampled individuals.
So a bias that we were able to avoid was undercoverage bias. We addressed potential undercoverage by collecting data over a span of several days. This allowed us to include students who may have been absent or not present in Palm Court on a single day. An unavoidable bias was voluntary response bias. This bias was present since participation in our survey was optional. We could not force students to take the survey, so our data only represents those willing to respond to our survey. Our null hypothesis is that social pressures have no effect on the response made by those who respond to the question. Therefore, the number of yes responses on both surveys are equivalent. Our alternative hypothesis is that social pressures of questions influence the responses made by those who respond to the question.
After conducting our survey, we noticed a significant difference in the amount of people saying yes or no based on the survey they were given. For our bias survey, 7 people said that they didn't use AI to cheat for freshmen and sophomores, and 6 people said no for juniors and seniors. For the unbiased survey, people were more likely to say yes, as according to our data, 5 people said yes for freshmen and juniors, 6 people said yes for seniors, and 7 people said yes for sophomores.
Conclusion. Based on our data, we found that the probability of the control group and the treatment group having the same proportion of yeses by pure chance to be extremely low. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis. I conclude that there is evidence that supports that bias wording affects survey responses.